Right, what is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be maybe my last live stream for this year. And I say maybe, it is probably because I would maybe like to do another live stream at some point in December, just to do another one of the usual Hangout streams. But as you can see from the title, it's going to be an update involving a hangout with you guys. And I am going to be displaying the first CD that's another movie soundtrack. Just like when I did display the soundtrack to my favourite film of all time, The Silence of the Lambs. Well, for the first CD I'm about to show is the soundtrack to the Hannibal soundtrack. I've been watching different films quite a lot recently, Hannibal being one of them. Hans Zimmer is one of my all-time favorite composers, and I think this soundtrack is as beautiful. It's really dark in places. What's up, Hunter? Hope you're doing well. Well, this is a soundtrack that I really do love listening to. I thought the film as well is quite underrated. It's not a perfect film like The Silence of the Lambs, obviously, but the soundtrack to me is just as great. This is an original pressing of this on CD as well, released through the Decca Records label. And the last three I'm going to display are 2023 albums. Before I will be doing my list of my favorite albums of the year, I am still going to be listening to some new albums that I haven't reviewed at all. There were some picks of albums that I really liked that will be included. So the first CD of new albums for this update live stream is Steven Wilson's The Harmony Codex. Now, I always really respect a lot of what Steven Wilson has been about, not just a very productive producer and mixer, but I do highly appreciate him so much for being in Porcupine Tree. And this is my first ever Steven Wilson album in the collection. I know he has done other albums that are well regarded, obviously like The Raven That Refused to Sing, Deadwing, etc. But since that I am a big fan of progressive rock and art rock, I think this album is really great stuff. This is released through the Virgin Music Group label. It's art rock combined with the beautiful melody and some progressiveness in these occasions through guitar riffs and the whole experimentalism through synthesizers. To me, this is an excellent record. This will be included in my list of my favorite albums of the year. By the way, I was originally going to be thinking about doing a top 15. However, I've decided to make a bit of a bigger list and do a top 20. A top 20 of my favorite albums from this year. This is a great, great record. Beautiful textures, and some of the compositions on this are as lovely when you think about the style of production and the whole vocal melody side of things. So that is the Harmony Codex by Steven Wilson. The next one, this is the really strong Young God Records album of The Beggar by Swans. This album is 2 hours long, and I love their packaging of this. 2 separate discs, and I did give it a very positive review. I do defend my own thoughts that this is, to me, not Swans at their strongest in ages, because To me, there are other Swans albums that I love more than this. I think To Be Kind to, obviously, Soundtracks for the Blind and the other really high praised albums are just as amazing, but this album is still a powerful and strong record lyrically and as well as with the production. Probably the most vulnerable aspect of what Michael Gira decides to write home about throughout his ideas. A lot of the lyrics around here, and as well as with the giant ensemble of musicians who have worked with Gira and Swans. Swans are just, to me, one of the best, most excellent bands in the genres that are just gigantic. This is a band, like with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, that are not just a few or one genre style band. Excellent album. Now, this is the last 2023 album I've bought so far. I am really anticipated to get the new Slow Dive album and as well as to get a physical copy of I.O. by Peter Gabriel. I.O. is maybe going to be my last review. I say maybe, if not the last review for 2023 reviews. But this album right here is from a band I've always heard great things about. And it's the new Enslaved album. The new Enslaved album, Heimdall. I might have butchered that. But this is the first Enslaved album I have bought. I know loads of people have been praising this band. This is a great addition because this contains the Blu-ray of their performance called the Otherworldly, Big Band Experience to celebrate Enslaved's 30th anniversary. But I've only listened to this album. If there are any Enslaved fans, please recommend me the albums that you consider to be your favourites. I have heard that this band has always been praised. I do love the view style pictures and just the packaging that does attach with the overall theme and styles that really interests me. And I think Enslaved have made something quite progressive on here as well. Not like mad progressive metal, but in a style that is still involving black metal, some great strengths through the vocals to the exploration of what the band did do on this. So that is that new Enslaved album into the collection. Besides watching movies, I have decided to buy the DVD box set of a new discovery, as that I'm a big fan of Hannibal Lecter myself. I decided to purchase the DVD box set of the TV show with the actor Mads Mikkelsen and also Lawrence Fishburne. I am finished with the first disc of season 1. But I've heard loads of excellent praise things from this TV show, as Hannibal Lecter has been one of my most favourite characters of all time, one of my top 5 characters of all time in a movie franchise. I was really curious. I was going to buy the Blu-ray version of this TV show, but the DVD set was cheaper. It was over 10 quid, and Amazon was selling this, I believe, for over £30. £30 for these complete 3 seasons, which I wasn't on board really. But yeah, I thought the DVD was the better offer really. So that is that. That's the Hannibal TV series box set, and I am enjoying this. I am enjoying this so far. So that's why I decided to pick it up. Not a giant of an update video, guys, but with that being said, let's go and have a hangout. How are you guys doing? Looking after each other, looking after one another. Midnight Social, sorry about that, mate. I did see your comments, and same goes with Sedition Through Scorns. Got another banger of an update, and the notifications actually went through this time. Enslaved are awesome. I recommend listening to Frost, Eld, Below the Lights, Isa, and In Times. I've heard good things about In Times, which their sound for black metal with progressive and folk undertones are really good. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get into Enslaved, because, you know, I've always heard the band name pretty much when the 2012 album of theirs came out. But yeah, Enslaved are a really, really good band from what I've heard. Midnight Social, do you listen to Cattle Decapitation? If you haven't seen my review, I already have reviewed Terrorsight. I do love some Cattle Decapitation. I also have Death Atlas on CD. Not the other ones yet. But yeah, this is another one that is one of my favourite albums of the year. By the way, guys, now that you are here, me and Sedition Through Scorns are going to do our separate end of the year lists together on my channel, because it's been 2 years since we've done the last one. Hang on a minute. Father's calling me. My bad. Bear with me. I might have to stop the stream here, and then I'll come back. So, yeah, bear with me, guys. I'll be back. Stay where you are. Fuck's sakes.